ever keep me down, I'm going.
And a warm welcome to everyone in attendance as well as our viewers from Cape Town TV. We are live at the beautiful Centurion Mall and we are here for the How Cup 2022. You are watching the final, which is about to get started. But before we get to that, just a few quick formalities. Just like to say a big thank you to our sponsors. How, joining us all the way over from China, manufacturers of incredible tips and cues. Thank you for their partnership, as well as Andy Billiard Cloth, the same cloth that was used at the World Games earlier on this year, as well as My Day Brands. A big thank you to them. So without any further ado, I'd also like to get this match started. First of all, I'd like to call over our match official, Mr. Stefan Steenekamp. Stefan will be officiating this match for us. As I said, it is the final. The first player to join us in the front here, I'd like to call over all the way from the Western Cape, Mr. Ashraf Haribai. Ashraf, this is your first final in the Pro Snooker. Maybe if you can give us an idea, how does this rank amongst your pool and Q Sports achievements?
Definitely one of my highest achievements in snooker. Hopefully I'll give Fakhri a good fight. We've faced each other a few times. I've come up short, but I'm looking to redeem myself.
Absolutely. Mr. Haribai, you can move towards your chair as I call to the front your opponent, Mr. Fakhri Fireball Khirdin. Fakhri, if I can call you over for a second. This is familiar territory for you, Pro Snooker Finals, different opponent this time. Please can you give us an idea, what do you make of the playing environment and the venue that you find yourself in for this Pro Snooker event?
Yeah, I think the venue is great. Firstly, you know, the sponsors, How, and Pro Snooker, I mean, lovely venue, setup is quite good, tables are nice and quick. So yes, I think decent conditions and conducive to good snooker.
Thank you so much, Fakhri. So I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I actually want to get this match underway. So I'll call over Mr. Stefan Steenekamp. I'm going to pass over to him. Please sit back, relax, and enjoy this incredible match of snooker. Thanks, everyone.
Well, welcome everybody. Wayne Parker here in commentary. We have the finals underway. Fakhri Khirdin against Fakhri Khirdin against Ashraf Haribai. This is a final that everyone has been waiting for. Fakhri beating his opponent in the semi-finals, playing against Kiashan. Convincing win over there, played very well. Ashraf beating Ricky Tregoning. And the games are underway. This would be race to 5 to determine who the 2022 Pro Cup Snooker half champion will be. And the players are nudging at the red balls over here, hoping to get a position of advantage in place. And great to see the players fighting through the ranks to get into the finals of the event. So Fakhri Khirdin, former SA Singles Classic Doubles and Six Reds champion. And then we have Ashraf, the Western Cape wonder, that has come through. And joining me in commentary, we have Werner. Awesome to have you. This is going to be an exciting final, and looking forward to see some good breaks here.
Absolutely. It's my favorite part of the weekend is when we get to this final stages. But Wayne, if I can say one thing for sure, I've been a part of quite a few of these pro snooker events. What an event we've had.
Man, and some shake-ups as well. Some big shake-ups in this event with Charles Jonk, 7 times champion, being knocked out yesterday by his friend Kevin.
Absolutely, and he's also the current SA title holder, so that needs to be added as well. And as we look at the incredible playing environment, it's not often that you see something as incredible as this. Just the venue itself, the Centurion Mall hosting us for this Howard Cup, and then the cage set up, the table, absolutely incredible playing conditions. The Andy cloth that these guys are playing on. The compliments that I'm getting from them to Andy for the product that they've given us to put on this table, the consistency, they're absolutely loving it, the reaction that they're getting from the cue ball, and we'll talk all about these little things as we carry on through this final. But yeah, a lot of compliments to them.
That's right, so you want to get onto the right hand side of the blue there, but he does have 2 reds top table to try and extend his break.
So the blue going down, that's valued at 5 points. I think maybe if we can get those formalities out of the way, anyone watching doesn't really know what's happening here. There's a lot more balls on the table than they're used to seeing. Maybe, Wayne, if we can, just between the two of us, just go over snooker in a nutshell, where would you start off with?
Yeah, well, snooker is very different to other cue sports. I think our viewers are probably more familiar with pool. And snooker, on the other hand, works with points. You've got 15 red balls, 6 different colors. The colors ranging yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black. The reds are with 1 point each. And when you drop a red, it stays down. But after a red, you've got to go for a color. And the colors range points. Yellow is 2, green is 3, brown is 4, blue is 5, pink is 6, and black is 7. And trying to score what they call a break is consecutive balls potted straight after each other. In other words, potting a red would require 1 point, like Ashraf has done now. He'd now be going for a color. And let's say he goes for a green or a blue, he'd get that amount of points added to his break. And at the end of the day, at the end of the frame, the player that is able to acquire the most amount of points will win the frame. And just for our viewers to understand that this table is a lot larger than what you would be used to on the pool side of things, which are normally 7 foot and 9 foot. We're on a snooker table, we're looking at 12 feet. So potting here, you require some sort of skill. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, normally I put it into perspective for anyone that hasn't seen these tables in person, and if you haven't, unfortunate miss there to the middle by Ashraf. If you haven't seen one of these tables in person, it's in essence 4 7-foot, which is the standard pool table. 4 of them joined. That's the size of a snooker table. So it just puts into perspective the talent that these guys possess. One thing that I also think we should just cover is you refer to the reds. Those are valued at 1 point, and then you mentioned the order of the colors as you see them there. It's the yellow, green, brown, blue, pink, black. They also valued at their own points. The 2 points being allocated to the yellow. Green is 3 points, brown 4, blue 5, pink 6, black 7. So the ideal situation for anyone would be to play red, black, red, black.
Correct.
That gives way to the most number of points that you can then eventually score in a frame of snooker.
Yeah, so you can see Fakhri wanting to pot the red and loosen the black. Just as you mentioned, the black being worth the most amount of points, 7 points. And Fakhri really no stranger to being in the finals. He's been in the finals several times, unfortunately losing to the former champion Charles Jonk, who was yesterday knocked out. And so Fakhri is really hungry for this title. That's up for grabs for him.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually had a chance to speak to Fakhri in between sessions as we went from the quarterfinals to the semi-finals. He came to the venue and I had a quick chat with him. And he said he was actually disappointed to see Charles leave so early on. And that's just commending Fakhri on the sportsmanship. He doesn't want to win against, he wants to win against the best, which says a lot about Fakhri's character.
Yeah, no, absolutely. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best, and that's the thing. A player can have an off day, and which is probably what happened in Charles' case. But Charles would have definitely enjoyed playing Charles. Fakhri would have enjoyed playing Charles as always, because it's always been very close. It's always been a formidable finals when the two of them play, but not to take away from the fact that Ashraf is able to bring game to this finals, absolutely. Splitting the reds nicely there. Fakhri wanting to get as many points as possible early into this match and try and extend his lead and leave Ashraf trailing.
And very importantly, as you can see there, and as soon as you start paying attention to how these players are thinking, then the sport makes a lot more sense. But I've heard you say on previous occasions, and I can't agree with you more, the most important ball on here, we said the black is worth 7. That black doesn't mean anything if you can't control that white ball.
100%, Reno. The cue ball, most important ball on the table, and wherever you leave the cue ball is where your opponent has to play from. So, in essence, you get to control your opponent's game to a degree. And so you're going to find what they call safety play. When a player does not have a shot on, in this case Fakhri is going to go for the pink towards the middle, but when there is a shot that is not on, a player will try to hide the white or play the white in a very difficult situation or position on the table to leave your opponent to trying to go for a shot. And so the key with snooker is creating opportunities in order for you to get points on the table, and that requires a lot of patience in order to play the cue ball safe or snookering your opponent and having him come out and then set you up to make the points that you need. So it's there's a very big psychological factor to the game as well, and not to mention this is being showcased at the Centurion Mall in the public eye, so there is a sense of pressure that the players will be experiencing, knowing that this is also a match live for our television audience.
Absolutely, and Fakhri is no stranger to this exposure. As I said, Fakhri has been featured in most, if not all, of the pro snooker events throughout towards the final rounds. That's going to be a foul as the brown goes down, and we'll clarify that now as well. Seeing that Fakhri played the blue,
that's right.
He made contact with the brown. The brown also fell, which then resulted in an illegal shot. The blue, valued at 5 points, never gets allocated to Fakhri's score. However, the points for the foul is then allocated to Ashraf's score.
That's right, and here you can see a good example of Ashraf playing a safety shot, getting the white ball in the bulk, and small tap of the cue there by Fakhri, just commending the safety play. He's looking around here, so ideally he'd like to try and get a ball potted somewhere and then get the white ball back into bulk again. If not, a very thin cut on the ball to try and get the white ball up, or a containing shot by getting the white ball on the top cushion. He's gone for the thin cut, 2 rails, and he's played that really well.
Yeah, that's important to note then for the viewers as well, is what makes that a good shot is he was able to avoid the traffic that was on the table. The balls are split quite nicely now, so the first person to make a mistake, it will be costly. Your opponent will step to the table, and chances are you would have left him with an opportunity. So the fact that he could navigate the cue ball all the way back into safety, which we call the bulk end, that's where the the yellow, brown, and the green balls are. Behind that is in the bulk. Always want to try and leave the cue ball there because that's distance, and at this length on these tables, a millimeter over 12 feet becomes 3 millimeters by the time it reaches the ball.
That's right. Unfortunately, it was very difficult to get a safety shot, and he's gone 2 rails and he's gone into the reds, which has allowed Fakhri to have a nice shot on the red over here, and this might be costly for Ashraf.
Some lovely angles that we're getting from the cameramen as well. You can see the audience joining us there in the background over at the incredible Centurion Mall. A big thank you to them for hosting us this weekend. If you are watching from home and you've got a bit of load shedding coming, or you just want to step out for some lunch, come and join us over at the Centurion Mall. It's not too late yet. This match will carry on for quite a while. So please do come and join us for this final. We are in the food court. Come and grab some food. If the wife wants to go and take a stroll, there's over 220 stores that she can go and have a look at. If not, just come and down and grab a bite to eat and enjoy this final of the How Cup.
The only red that's a bit of a problem here is the one that's tight up against a cushion, but due to Andy cloth being such a high quality cloth, the cushion shots have been a lot easier. The table's been nice and fast. He'll probably leave that as his last ball. He's going to drill really deep into the white ball here. Probably take one of the bulk colors again. He's got 3 lovely reds here by the black, and he's going to try and clinch this frame just with the last remaining reds to extend his lead to 1-0. against Ashraf, the Western Cape wonder.
Yeah, Ashraf, also known as the Vulture. That's the nickname that he goes by. A very entertaining fellow. If you get to know him, he is very well known for talking a lot and being very funny and entertaining. So great to see Ashraf in the final, as you said there, Wayne, joining us all the way from the Western Cape. So a bit of travel fatigue as well. So very well done by him to make his way into this final.
Yes, absolutely. And you can see Ashraf is really looking relaxed. He doesn't really have as much pressure on him as I would think Fakhri, because Fakhri being the favourite of the match, having more exposure in this event's finals. However, not to take away from Ashraf, he is a man with experience. He's the former Western Cape champion, so he definitely knows his way around the table, and he's definitely going to want to try and stamp his authority in this match early on. And he does have an opportunity here to try and make the most of it with the reds that are remaining on the table.
Absolutely, and as he misses that red, hopefully it wasn't on a commentator's, or luckily it wasn't on a commentator's curse, but I was about to give him one more compliment, and you'll understand that as well, coming from a majority playing on the 7-foot tables and building your reputation from the 7-foot tables. The fact that Ashraf plays Habel, which is on a 9-foot table, it's the Chinese rules similar to what the South Africans would know as pool in South Africa. He's well known for that, as well as the American pool. Beautiful shot there to the top right from that red. But he plays all the formats, where Fakhri only plays snooker. So for him to compete at this level while playing in the other disciplines, it actually affects your game as soon as you start playing on different size tables, different size balls. The weight of the balls are different, where Fakhri has dedicated himself to snooker alone. So big compliment to Ashraf, and he's played 2 good shots and a good position to find himself on the red.
Yeah, he's definitely potting very comfortably, and you can see by the way he's walking around the table. Some spectators at the venue here at Centurion Mall, as you're watching this snooker showcase at its best. He wants to try and extend this break and get a nice position on the red. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to try and hold. He wanted to pot that blue and actually use the brown as a blocker ball, but I think a Fakhri here will probably play the red top table, leave the white in bulk, and get a nice safety play here.
Yeah, absolutely. Just get it out of trouble there and get it as close as possible to that black. Brown is hampering Ashraf slightly. I think he can see just a sliver of the red, but not enough to do any damage to Fakhri. So good shot played by Fakhri.
Yeah, so 35 points on the table if he takes the red with the black.
Cue ball getting very close to that middle pocket, just wiping its feet, not going through the door though. A lovely fine cut to the top right corner pocket. Needs a bit of pace to land on the black.
Just taking a glance at the scoreboard over there. There are now 27 points left on the table. He has dropped the red. He's got a shot on the black over here. Taking the black will definitely leave Ashraf requiring snookers, which is the case. And this will just ease off the pressure a bit for Fakhri, having been in his finals a few times.
You can see there Cobus Christine, our marker. He is allocating the scores. So it's not just the one referee involved. We actually have a few. Mr. Stefan Steenekamp, you can see there walking in the background, walking up behind Fakhri now. He is the match official. Then there's also Andre de Toy, who's the head referee, and Cobus Christine is the marker. And then there's a backup referee as well. There's so much attention that you need to pay in the sport that you can't just do with only one referee.
What a great draw back there by Fakhri, drilling into the white ball, string it back. Nice long blue here past the pink.
This is incredibly tough, and he makes that with heaps of confidence and gets position onto the pink as well. Let's see if he can do 2 in a row, and he'll just follow through slightly. So follow through, playing the cue ball more towards the top, just having it float in, and he doesn't even take the black on, just goes and takes a seat. There's no way that Ashraf can surpass his score with only 7 points on the table. So 1 frame 2-0. It is a race to 5 in this final of the How Cup.
That's right. Interesting to also note of the players is that we have Ashraf, the player. When he plays, you'll notice that his left eye is over the cue, meaning that his left eye dominance Where Fakhri, on the other hand, his right eye dominance, his right eye is directly over the cue. So it's quite interesting to see how these players adopt with the new cloth, the new environment, the lighting, and it's quite interesting to see what the talent is being showcased over here. Both players having tons of experience, and as you mentioned, Werner, coming from the China, the hay ball, and coming through making a debut like this in the finals of this event is something definitely worth mentioning.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have to say that of all of the pro snooker events that I've done so far, this event has definitely given way to the most exciting matches. We've seen everything happen. It's a lot of dedication involved for these players. There's travel involved. There's fatigue involved. It's a whole tournament that takes place over 2 days with 16 players. 8 of those 16 players had to qualify to be here. And maybe if now that we mentioned that, I can actually just cover that as well. If ever you're interested in taking part in these pro snooker events, all that you need to part in the top 16, there's 8 main qualifiers. Then they take 8 of the top seeded pro snooker players. And that is how we get to this point, where we then had a top 16 that started yesterday morning at 9 o'clock. We finished at 9 o'clock last night. Started again at 9 o'clock this morning with the last of the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and now we find ourselves in the final.
It's a lovely safety shot that Ashraf played over there, acknowledged by Fakhri with a tap on the table. And this has allowed him to have an opening shot here on a red, possibly take first blood in the second frame.
Yeah, great opportunity, and exactly what you were referring to in terms of playing the tactical shots is you're trying to force your opponent into making a mistake, and Fakhri's mistake there was colliding with the blue, not getting the ball back into the bulk end, and Ashraf now has a long attempt on a red to the corner pocket, which he misses. He's going to get fortunate. He doesn't. It stays out. Fakhri now with an opportunity for the red just to the left of the black.
He's eyeing out to see if the black does pass the red. It does seem tight. If the black doesn't go, he'll probably go up for the blue, one of the bulk colors. Just by seeing the way he's stroking, he might do that, and that's exactly what he's done. He's getting the cue ball up, and he doesn't run too much. He just slightly overhit that. He does have a shot for the brown here to the center, then taking the red that's to the left of the bunch. He does have the option also just to roll the cue ball up against the brown as a snooker. He's contemplating and just seeing his options at the moment.
Yeah, and it's important for the players to note, or the viewers to rather note, if you're watching these players, always try and think the way that they are. It's never about just, okay, I've now made a ball, I need to make the next one now. It's thinking 2-3 shots minimum ahead of time, knowing that, okay, I've got this red, if I make this red, which color will I end up on next, and from that color, which red am I going to thereafter, and look at the reaction of that cue ball, drawing that back, the distance of the table, back into safety for if he had to miss that. So
typical Judd Trump special there.
bearing in mind, if he does miss, he doesn't leave Ashraf with anything, and he makes a beautiful blue.
Playing confidently.
This exceptional standard coming from these players at the How Cup.
And here's the thing about potting a blue like that. In a match, there's normally one shot that triggers the confidence and want to step into the zone. And the shot that he played on the blue could possibly have been that one shot that just triggers off him stepping into form. And just seeing that last red that he dropped now, the long red, I think he's definitely finding himself in a very comfortable space now in his mind to be able to get into this final.
Slight mistake there by Fakhri running into the green. He wanted to go in and out of bulk without touching any of the bulk colors, so avoiding the yellow, brown and green, running into the green. So actually missed that ball. Kicked the red from behind, and an opportunity given to Ashraf now for the red to the bottom right, and he should guarantee himself position on the black.
That's right, Joe. I was going for that shot. We played a lot of left-hand side, which deflected the ball to the right, and by playing the left-hand side, he would have checked against the cushion and ensured that the cue ball runs back top table. But because there was so much deflection, he missed the ball completely, hit it from behind, and unfortunately it's just left his opponent on a red over here. Ashraf is going to be using the horseshoe, the spider, to be able to get over the Reds. Not an easy shot. The key here is just to push the cue forward, not to hit it too hard. He's done it very well.
I played that exceptionally well. Mr. Parker, while I've got you here, it's you're opening up yourself for a couple of questions here as you're throwing out words. I don't know where the viewers at home might not necessarily know what you're referring to. The first one that you threw out there was deflection. And that's a big thing in snooker.
That's right. Yeah, so with deflection, if you hit the cue ball across the table and you hit the cue ball in the center, the cue ball is going to run in a straight line. But if you hit the white ball, the cue ball on the right-hand side, the cue ball deflects towards the left at least about 10 millimeters or so, 10, 15 millimeters, and then will make its way back into the same path that it was traveling. And that's the deflection part, and one has to compensate for that, so that when you're playing right-hand side and the cue ball is going to deflect to the left, you need to aim more to the right in order to have the cue ball deflect into path to still make the ball. So forget about just trying to pot the ball at these long distances on this big table. One has to now also look at the skill that's required in order to compensate for the deflection of the cue ball. And what a lovely plant there by Fakhri. I can see his pace around the table has picked up, and he's definitely in a place where he wants to be. Slightly underplayed that. I think he wants to run a little bit through to get to the red, so he's going to have to take the long one on here.
He's played that really well, and he is able to hold for position on the brown.
It seems to set his body language. He struts around the table. It does look like he's looking at possibly finishing up this frame and clinching it with this current visit. And rolling the blue, rolling the red to get onto the blue, or getting back onto the reds again, into the high colors, try and secure this frame.
One other thing that I'd also like to point out for the viewers that are watching, it is interesting to note, watch Fakhri play. When he plays the shot and then he gets up.
That's right.
I've actually spoken, and I've had the privilege of having his coach, Mr. Rafiq Lambani. He's also the SA National Snooker head coach, in commentary here with me. And they actually said at one stage they had Fakhri on video, and they recorded his head, just his head, because they picked up that there was a problem with his cue action. That's basically how he plays the shot. And they noticed that his head came up millimeters. And they started working on that. That is how precise this game of snooker is. Look at Fakhri when he plays. He stays down, watches the ball with his eyes, takes in as much as possible information from each and every single shot, passing it onto his brain, and he's got so much experience that his brain already then starts to compensate where it needs to.
That's right, and for our viewers as well, one of the main reasons that one has to keep your head still, and you've got to remain down on the shot after you've played the shot, not jump up, is there's a 1-2 second moment straight after you've made contact with the cue ball where your brain needs to observe. You need to see what has happened in the result of your decisions and your guessing of the angles, to see what the result was of your shot. If one gets up immediately, you rob yourself of the learning opportunity of what went wrong. And that is how the brain learns. And so that's why they say vitally important to stay down on the shots, so that if you do miss, you can see what went wrong, so that you can make the change and make the adjustment for the next shots to come. And Fakhri does it very well by staying down on the shots.
And as you can see now, he's already built up a break of 45, and that's the break as the score. In the furthest bottom left, you see there break 45, and you can see indicated 7 reds along with the various other colors that he potted to get to that total break that he has scored. The highest break so far that we've had in this tournament was a break of 62. That was in the previous match that you commentated on, I believe, and that was scored by Fakhri coming to the table now.
Yeah, well, he's going to use the rest over here. He's going to take the red, and we've got Ashraf already requiring snookers. So I think at this stage, Fakhri is going to be just using this opportunity to loosen up his arm a little bit. And don't be surprised to see some shots where he's knocking the balls with some power and some speed over here, just to settle the nerves a little bit in the final.
Absolutely, and Wayne, there's a tactic behind this as well. There's no worse place to be in a match than sitting down as an opponent and watching your opponent pot the balls. So it is a tactic. Fakhri wants Ashraf to remain seated. He doesn't want him to go anywhere. He wants him to get frustrated, not because he's being mean, but it plays an effect on your mind.
That's right, to try and keep your opponent cold and in your seat. Look, if you're sitting in your seat, there is nothing that you can do. And Ashraf playing a lovely shot there to the corner. Ashraf knows that he is trailing by quite a bit, but he wants to use this opportunity just to get some practice time. You know he's trailing by far, and it's going to be very difficult for him to clinch the frame. The frame is probably already going to be awarded to Fakhri. However, Ashraf wants to use this opportunity just to get some table time, and will not be surprised if you find the concession coming in quite soon over the next 2 visits or so.
Absolutely, and if we can just maybe explain to the viewers now what happens now, because if you count the number of balls that's available, the highest score that you can achieve from here is an extra 43 points for Ashraf. That then only puts him on 51. That is short of Fakhri's 63. So what he would need to do now is to put Fakhri in a position where he cannot play the next ball on. So if there's only 1 red remaining on the table, as an example, Fakhri cannot reach that red, and he commits a foul and then has points allocated to Ashraf's score. So you're basically forcing your opponent to make mistakes so that you can get additional points, so that the difference is within reach again.
That's right, yeah. So you want to try and cause your opponent to make a foul in order to allocate you more points to yourself. And
that is a mistake by Ashraf.
Yeah, I set up the reds over here. Ideally, if one is requiring, so I look at the action on this Andy cloth. Wow, beautifully showcasing some spectacular exhibition shots.
Yeah, and that wouldn't have been possible without the Andy cloth. The players really enjoying how reactive this cloth is, and they said basically anyone with a decent cue action can make the cue ball do what they couldn't do on any other cloth.
Yeah, that's right. So Fakhri securing this frame in the bag, and right now he'd be looking at some and knocking the balls with some power, just to try and build up the confidence a bit and just loosening up the arm. So it's at this stage normally one begins to see some exhibition shots and exhibition play, knowing that there's no more pressure upon anymore. Loosening up the green and the black. One of the green. He's probably going to go for a double here.
And again, that just shows you, again, for the viewers, just thinking what Fakhri thinks. If he just potted the yellow, that would have been one thing, but if he had no shot on the green, it would have been pointless. So he had to play the yellow in such a way that he could get to the green, open up the green, and Fakhri is steamrolling so far. Score goes to 2-0, and Ashraf really needs to pull up his socks if he wants to compete in this final.
That's right, and all out to the How Cup and Pro Snooker for being able to get this finals match in the public eye. Normally it's behind closed doors. As our viewers would know, snooker requires a deal of dedication, commitment and concentration. It's a very inward focused sport, and there can be a lot of distractions externally that can put a player off. But the fact that they've taken the snooker table, set it up here at the Centurion Mall, look at this deep screw shot, just reviewing some of the action replays, cueing beautifully for the public eye to see here at the Centurion Mall. And drew that cue ball right back up into bulk again, and cueing really well. And the spectators have been giving some good feedback, being able to see snooker at its best.
Absolutely agree with you there, Wayne. It's one thing to watch the sport on television, watching the international players compete, but when you actually see the size of this table, then immediately it's almost imposing. It's threatening in a way. How do you pot a ball at that length when most people can't do it consistently on a 7-foot table?
That's right. It's one of the most difficult sports there is snooker. It takes years and years and years of practice in order to get good at this game. And so that's why we find the great players of the World Tour, like Ronnie O'Sullivan and Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, John Higgins, Mark Selby, and them have been playing it for years and years and years. And but it's lovely to see the game growing in South Africa and seeing how this is now being showcased in the public eye, and people being able to see and the talent that these players have been putting in and the preparation they've done behind doors, behind closed doors, and one can see it. So Fakhri playing here like this is not just a new player on the block. He's won the SA Singles, he's won the SA Classic, the Six Reds Championship, and Ashraf being a Western Cape champion as well. These are players that have played for years and being able to play at this level. So one can only just sit back and admire what we're witnessing here.
First blood drawn there by Ashraf in this third frame. But just unfortunately not getting good position onto his next colour. He's left himself with a tough blue, which is now missed.
Where's the blue ball going? He might be getting this. It's close. It's stuck up.
Oh, almost a bit of fortune for Ashraf.
I fancy Fakhri getting this red with the way that he's been queuing. Yeah. Got a lovely shot here on the blue. And then he's into the reds right around the black. And that's where he's going to be focusing, is to try and loosen the reds around the black and try and score on quite a lot of points. Had a lucky little kiss over there. He's not on a red right now, so probably end of break. He's going to be looking at playing a safety shot here, clipping the red on the side.
So having a look to see if there's a possible plant on or combination on, and that's basically when the balls line up in such a way, and I think he might have spotted something.
He does.
He has.
Lovely shot.
So spotted the combination or plant. Plant is more when the balls are touching each other. So a combination spotted there by Fakhri, knowing that if he contacted this ball, there would be a chain reaction. And look at that, the experience coming through from Fakhri. No need to take any unnecessary risks. I'll leave you in trouble, Mr. Haribai, and you try and get out of here while you give me some free points.
Yeah, and what's difficult here is that the green ball is hampering Ashraf from trying to get this red at the bottom of the table. He wants to get to this red at the bottom of the table, trying to clip it from behind and leave the cue ball safe. If he does miss a red, it will be a miss, so the referee will definitely be looking at where the position of the cue ball is. And the green is slightly in the way. He's hitting it hard, he wants to hit the side of it, and he did get it. And he hit it well, but he's still a red open here, so this is going to require some cueing.
And he's going to play for the red. There's two reds just above the black. He's going for the highest one, nudging the other red out the way. But just rolling too far with the cue ball. Lost position on the black. He can make it, but this is a very tough cut. Opts to rather go for the green. Gets a double kiss. Works out in the end still. Cue ball back into safety. Nothing easy on for Ashraf.
Ashraf seeing the red just to the left. It does go to the bottom right pocket, and it will allow him to get the white top table again. Hopefully he can come close to the spot, and he's going. Looks good.
Oh, that was so close.
It's very close.
No. Fakhri back at the table.
Fine cut required here. Oh, not fine enough, unfortunately. Cue ball goes down. And
As you'll
4
see,
points.
keep an eye on Ashraf's score. You'll see it goes from 1 to 5. Because of that foul, 4 points allocated to Ashraf's score. Difference now only 3 points, but the most pressing difference is the 2 frames to 0 in favour of Fakhri. So Ashraf needs to settle down. He hasn't been playing bad snooker. He just needs to get in with a proper break and start shifting the momentum and add some pressure onto Fakhri's
I
shoulders.
fancy maybe getting this red, since the last one was close. He might get this one to the left bottom corner. And he does.
Also,
The previous shot, he came very close, and that allowed him just to adjust and see. So he was no stranger to this shot now. But very good. Nicely on the yellow. If he's got enough angle, he can send the cue ball down. He wants to see an open red, probably taking the one that is left of the bunch. So he just wants to run out enough, just past the blue. Pace looks good. Does he have the line? He has the line. This is going to be some cue action here. He's probably going to draw into the... Not sure if he can hold it for the black. Depending on the angle, he might pull it back for the blue. He tried.
rattles and stays out. That was a tough shot though. Fakhri having a look.
I wonder if he sees this ready at the bottom right. I think the green is probably hampering it slightly. So it's difficult to play a safety play. He's looking where he can leave the cue ball where you can leave the white so that he doesn't see this this red on the bottom right here. So somewhere on the top cushion, using the green to block the path, and just missed shy of that, I see. I wonder if he still sees it.
I think he's okay from there. The camera can be a little bit deceptive for us, but Ashraf straight away looks a different option, which means Fakhri was successful in that containing shot. Containing shot means there's other reds that he can play, but you try and contain your opponent and limit the damage, and that is painful for Ashraf. He's made a red to the middle, but he can't get on any other color.
I think he might be able to see the blue. If he does get past this red, just leaving the cue ball top cushion, possibly maybe trying to play the blue to the yellow pockets. He might be going for that, or he's going to try and swerve and nick the pink.
So swerving, you see there Ashraf elevating the back of the cue and playing down onto the cue ball, and the cue ball then actually biting onto this brilliant Andy cloth and then swerving, as you referred to there, and trying to get onto that color. Fakhri not sending Ashraf back to play that shot, as he could clearly see the red that he was trying to protect, and pots the red, and he's onto his next color.
Yeah, he's going to want to get a nice shot here on this red that's left of the pink spot, the top red, and he's going to try and play this and get a nice position for the pink into the left side. Oh, he has pulled it to go for the bulk colors instead. I think he just needs a nice angle to get onto the next red.
I think he's playing for the blue. Just have a look now. He's looking to the bold colors. Angle on the blue is there. He can play for the blue, but that's going to send the cue ball running because of the acute angle.
I think he's eyeing out the red that is just left of the black, or just below it. He's going to kiss these two open. And
he'll be very happy with that.
Yes, absolutely. And he landed on that nicely. It's just a matter of just getting the cue ball to go 2 rails and back up. Okay, then straight into the balls, open them up.
To the pink to the middle, uses the blue to hold the cue ball, but misses the pink by about a ball.
So we have the 3 reds hampered here on the left of the table. We've got the red also hampered on the top cushion over here, and so 2 reds really available for Ashraf to try and score as many points as possible. He's going to dig into this cue ball and try and pull it back, and he does hold it for the pink. He doesn't want to go past the pink though. He has.
Would have loved to just keep the cue ball just above the pink, because in essence now cue ball is, as we'd refer in no man's land. He does have a shot, but it could have been much easier just if he controlled that cue ball enough. Is he going to go for this combination? Lovely shot, stays on track for the pink as well. Lovely shot by Ashraf.
The pink would have gone on the pink spot, but there is a red ball hampering the pink spot, so then goes to the highest available spot, which is the black spot. Pink will go back to the black spot now after Ashraf pots the red. It's currently occupying the pink spot. He'll try and get back onto the pink. He does get past the black now, and he does. Now he's hampered. And unfortunately, possibly end of break over here. I'll just snooker up behind the black. And that might be a foul. He's underplayed it. That's a foul, and it's a free ball, and he's probably going to ask Ashraf to play again from there, and the shot has seemed to have backfired. He's asking him to play again, and now he's going to have to take some of his own medicine.
Yeah, and that's again what makes this game so interesting. Ashraf was doing the right thing there, but it just underhit the cue ball, not actually touching the black, committing a foul, got out of it quite easily. Hasn't done too much damage apart from the points awarded to Fakhri's score for that foul committed.
Ideally, when one wants to play a very short shot, the key is to have your hand that you're bridging the cue on move very close to the object ball. It's more difficult with your hand when you have a long bridge and trying to play a short shot. And as we can see, that's what was difficult here. Lovely pot to the side. Lovely pot to the side.
That's one thing that I absolutely have to say, and I can commend the players on, is the level of snooker being played in South Africa has definitely improved over the last year, especially on the pro snooker scene. The guys are playing incredibly well. It's definitely a lot more entertaining. It's given way to much more enthralling matches, and yeah, definitely entertaining the public, and it can only go forward from here.
Yes, absolutely. And he's in a situation over here. They're obviously having a bit of a banter with each other, and it just shows the spirit between players, that they still remain friends, and the spirit between players are really good, in good spirit. It's a bit of a tricky scenario, trying to get a safety shot over here. As you try and clip this red in. Oh, where's the cue ball going? And the red is set up for him in the left side.
Yeah, right over the middle. That's a gimme for Fakhri. Nice freebie handed out by Ashraf. Would have been nice if Fakhri ran into that red as he played, and I think that's what he intended on doing, is just to bring that red off the rail, but just missed it slightly, but draws back beautifully. And this is a very tough shot, but he played that really well to give himself every opportunity of making this red.
Absolutely. And Werner, what are the players playing for, prize money wise?
Yeah, so that's another exciting thing, is they are playing for a whopping 75,000 rand.
Wow.
So yeah, unheard of in snooker in South Africa. So that's great, and it's bringing a lot of attention from players, and yeah, definitely makes it worth it for them. I mean, Ashraf, all the way from the Western Cape. A lot of the other pro snooker events we did was down in Durban, so the guys from Gauteng and again from the Cape need to travel to KZN to go and compete, but for that prize money, it's worth it.
Absolutely. And it's so great to see snooker being showcased like this, and growing and getting to the public eye. And it's really good to see the players being able to showcase their talents as well. Fakhri putting on the mini butt on the back of the cue, just short of reach to get to the yellow. And he's going to want to try and draw back here and get the white close to the center of the table. We're playing it across. So it hasn't gone too much. It's on too much of an angle on the green. Probably still going to slice this across, but the cue ball's going to be running. Oh no, he's going for yellow. He's going for yellow afterwards. My apologies. Yes, I think he's got a nice angle now to maintain position for the green.
Yeah, that's it. He's going to come off of one rail and land nicely onto the green.
Oh, don't hit the wrong side of the blue now.
He's back in that position where you said cue ball's going to run.
He wants to make sure of the shot. See, that was a very important shot, but fortunately the green has run against the cushion. It's still potable, especially down the rails over here. He can use this opportunity to try and use the blue to stop the white, to be plumb on the brown. But it's not an easy shot. Does he have the confidence to go for it, or is he going to go around the table with it? Let's see. He's decided to go for the safety. So Ashraf just trailing by 8 points, and there's 25 points on the table.
Close with that green to the corner pockets. He'll be happy he hit the pocket. He hit the jaw rather on the safe side, which means even though the green didn't go down, the rattle in the jaw pushed the green back to safety. A lovely shot on that green by Ashraf.
Here's a nice test of cue action. I think with the cue balls laying, I wouldn't be surprised if he makes this. Oh, where's it going? It's coming back.
No luck on the second go around, and Ashraf with a long green. This is very tough, but I've seen 6-7 times at least Ashraf has made these shots over this weekend. So it is well within his skill set. Plays that well. Look at that reaction. Is it too much? It's not easy on the brown. This is going to be tough to cue as well, being so close to the rail.
So he's got an option here to try and play safe, or is he going to go for it? He might be going for the left middle. Does, and he hits it beautifully. Wow, what a great shot. But where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball going?
Ashraf walking.
Oh, he's safe, he's safe. And break continues.
Ashraf also thinking at one point that that is going down, started making his way to his chair, and then saw at the last second he's still okay. Bit of aggression being shown by
This
Ashraf.
cue ball might be going behind the black. Or not. No, he's open.
Still okay. Does he pull off a beautiful blue? No, he doesn't. Does he leave it on for Ashraf? In a way he does. It's possible. Nothing easy though. 5 points the difference. This blue will level out the scores, 42 all.
Very important frame here for Fakhri. He wants to make sure that he clinches this one. It'll just apply the pressure back on Ashraf being 3-0 down in the finals, but it looks like he's played a lovely shot here, and he might have pulled off the snooker behind the pink, and he has.
He'll be happy with that. Had an opportunity to pot the blue, but if he can't get onto the pink, it's pointless.
Swerving, hitting the blue, and here's an opportunity for Ashraf to clinch the frame. If there's ever an opportunity, it's this.
Yeah, and there's also, with the angle he's playing this blue, cue ball will be moving towards the pink.
Oh, unfortunate miss. And the
He's going to
consolation
get
prize.
so lucky. He's going to get so lucky. Raise of the hand by Ashraf, apologizing to his opponent, and that's what's great about snooker, is the sportsmanship. It is a bit of fortune going your way, and Ashraf definitely won't mind it, but at least just apologize to your opponent. That is a foul. Ashraf will ask him to play that again. Mr. Stefan Steenekamp will be picking up the cue ball, putting it back in behind the pink, and Fakhri will need to have another attempt.
What's difficult about this shot is that the blue ball is close to the black, and it's so easy to miss the blue, hit the cushion, and then hit the black and award 7 points to your opponent. So Fakhri wants to make sure that he gets his angle right, and very dangerous shot, can be very costly, and does hit it beautifully. Well done.
He has, but he has left a shot on for Ashraf. Again, not easy. If it stopped about 2 or 3 inches short of where it did, would have been a lot easier to play this blue.
So whoever pots 2 balls is the winner of this frame.
Cue ball very close to that middle pocket. Ashraf now needs to showcase his potting ability. Stay down, make this pink, doesn't.
Right, and so we have Fakhri needing the pink and the black. He is going to take this on, and if he gets this, he'll have a shot in the black, but not an easy shot. Wow, and takes it down beautifully in the heart of the pockets. Got a blind pocket here, and takes it home.
That's some highlight reel action there. An incredible standard of play by these players.
Very close one there. Ashraf was in reach of taking it, just missed the pink. But Fakhri climbing in and extending his lead to 3-0 against Ashraf. Just taking a look again at some of the shots. Shot that he missed, cutting back on the green. Showing how difficult that was. One of the cutback shots playing into blind pocket, very similar to Dennis Taylor and Steve Davis on the final black. Dug beautifully into this green ball, pulled the cue ball back, and even pulled it back too far. Remember, he ended up on the cushion.
Absolutely, it's a great reaction that these players are getting on the Andy Cloth. It's the first time, the first pro snooker event where the Andy Cloth has been introduced, and I can promise you the players won't want to change that. They're very happy with the outcome of that decision. So a great partnership being formed by Andy Cloth and also our main sponsor, How. company all the way from China. They manufacture cues as well as tips. Tips of various sizes and the cues of international standard. And it's also, if you watch any pool on an international scale, you've probably heard of Shane Van Boening. This is probably the most well-known American pool player, 9-ball, 10-ball, bank pool, and he personally endorses How. So that says a lot about the quality of their product. So great partnership being formed by Pro Snooker and How, which we are all very excited about, as well as the players.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I must say that Fakhri having a 3-0 lead over here puts a lot of pressure on Ashraf. This next frame is vitally important to Ashraf to try and close that gap. If Fakhri wins this next frame, I don't see Ashraf coming back. It is a very important frame for Ashraf to take this up. But you've got to hand it to Ashraf for holding his own in that last frame. He came within one shot of clinching it and having the scores being 2-1. So the previous frame was really a very important frame for Ashraf.
Absolutely, yeah. If it wasn't for that incredible shot on the pink by Fakhri, Ashraf would have been looking at a different picture. 2-1 looks a lot better than 3-0.
Absolutely, huge difference. All right, so Fakhri just taking a quick comfort break and just freshening up. And I tell you this, the game of snooker really takes a lot out of a player. It is a much bigger table, and the level of concentration that's required and fitness and mental stamina is second to none.
Absolutely. If you haven't played too much snooker, try and find out where is your closest snooker club or just a table that you can go and play on. And I invite you to go and play for 3 hours or so and then wake up the next morning and say you're not feeling anything. It might not look like the most physical game, but you do feel it the next day.
Just looking back at some of the shots. Beautiful table, beautiful cueing. Straight in the heart of the pocket. Great table conditions for the players. And as you can see, referee Stefan Stennekamp just clearing the chalk marks off the table. And for our viewers that are busy watching, the cloth does have bristles on them, known as the nap. And it runs from the bulk colours down to the black side. And it does affect the ball's path somewhat when playing across it. And the players are aware of this. So when they're playing a shot where the pink is towards the centre pocket, they would be aiming for the far jaw to allow for the nap to roll into the centre of the pocket. So a lot of technical things to consider within the game. And this is the reason why they say the blue ball is the biggest ball on the table. It's because quite often if one does not play it correctly outside, one always hits the blue in the centre. But Ashraf underway to take the first red of his frame. Unfortunately, just coming short of it.
Yeah, close, but unsuccessful. No real damage done. The only ball open for Fakhri is a long red, but then it is also Fakhri taking that shot. So Ashraf will be holding his breath.
Long red over here. He's digging into the cue ball. He's going to want to stun the cue ball across and maybe draw it back. Oh, we're trying to stun it across. Black ball set up nicely in front of this pocket. So whoever gets the red gets the black. There's a red here that's available to the middle. He'll try and hold the white. He doesn't want to leave the middle one open in case he misses, and he's hit the far jaw, but he hasn't left anything on, so no damage done.
Yeah, again, a calculated shot. It's not just a shot that Ashraf took on because it's the shot that he took on. He knew that if he misses it, at least the cue ball should be safe more or less. If he makes it, the black's right there.
Is the 4-ball plant on here to the left middle? I think he's looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what he's looking at. He's looking at the plant to the yellow pocket. It can be a very dangerous shot this if he leaves the ball in front of the middle, the left middle open. But he's going to go for it. It's played a bit too wide. Has he left the left middle open? The red's coming back. It might nudge it closer actually, and it has.
A risk that Fakhri took. calculated risk might be on the fact that he is on 3-0. It's a chance for Ashraf
Where's the cue ball going? Oh!
in the corner pocket. Very unlucky for Ashraf. We saw in his semi-final match, it looked like Ashraf was going to make his way home, and his opponent Ricky Tregoning would have faced Fakhri in this final, but out of nowhere Ashraf pulled it off, got back into the match. Time did play a factor, which it could do as well in this final. The session is limited, obviously, because we are live on TV. We'd like to give you a conclusion while we are here. It's not ideal, but it is unfortunately the situation we do find ourselves in. And so it has forced a situation where it has been tough, and we had to limit the time playing a factor, and we now have Ashraf in the final.
That's right. Lovely pink. He's on the next red. There's not many reds open here. He wants to leave himself an angle on the black ball here so that he can go into the bunch. Loosen the reds a bit.
Sits, and then also the pink spot covered, so the pink is on the blue spot.
Does he have the angle? He doesn't want to be straight on this black. He's a bit too straight. He would have wanted an angle. And so he's eyeing out the red top table. He's going to draw heavily into the cue ball. Watch the action on this white. Bang, and there it pulls off with a little bit of running side. He's going to hit the cushion, and he's got a shot open on this red.
This is probably... no, he's not playing the shot that I was hoping he would play.
Played that well.
Really well.
Well, so here's the shot he's going to be trying to go for. He's hit the green with a lot of power, a little bit of bottom right, and going to the bunch and split the pack. He hits it hard. Oh, he drew it back with a power draw, a lot of side, and missed the pack, unfortunately. But end of break, safety shot is what I have in mind right now.
Or play the pink to the middle, smash into the pack from there. Oh no, he's on the reds. No point in playing the pink. There would have been a foul.
Very good containing shot there. Behind the black, Ashraf will be playing side cushion and just nudging up against the black. Against the pack, and probably followed by a shot with Fakhri clipping the side of the red and sending cue ball into bulk.
Good legal shot there. Everyone used to playing on 7-foot tables, pool tables. Normally after you make contact with the ball on, you need to touch a rail afterwards. That does not apply to snooker. You could literally just tap the cue ball, make contact, and that is a legal shot. Ashraf with a loose red. Misses it though.
Might be a shot here where Fakhri might want to just open the pack. Oh no, he's got the red, the top red open to the left middle.
Yep, there's a loose red sticking out his head. He's played that. Ooh, looked good there for a second. Stays out though, but he's lucky, got away with one. Yellow coming in the way of the red.
I think he'll try and double this red into the side. Let's see if he's able to get this. Not an easy shot. He's attempted it. Will the triple be there? They say sometimes a bad double is always a good triple. Not in this case. It was a shot to nothing. Went for the shot and got nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to control the cue ball in a safe position. Here's a nice long red open over here.
Also quite tricky now with the blue and pink all the way to the top of the table. So limited in terms of options surrounding the cluster of reds. Only the black available. Lovely shot to the bottom left on that red. He's found himself on the black.
smashed that red in. And, I think Fak will probably play the top red, try and leave the cue ball on top of the table. Bring the red down. Which he has. Is he going to hit the knuckles? He's going to drop. He nearly dropped it. I think it's open.
So as well, this is a very fine cut though.
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy shots happen on these tables over this weekend. Some very acute angles. Cue balls scratching in the middle pockets on quite a few occasions.
Brown will come to save the day. But they might push the white in behind the brown. He's trying
There's
it.
the plan. Just peeks its head out just far enough, I think. Would have been so painful for Ashraf if it was right up behind that brown.
I think he's going to go in behind the pack. Typical Mark Williams break style. Referee looking to see if it's going to be touching. It's not.
Judged the pace really well on that shot.
Because it's touching. I think he's questioning. Yes, it is touching. It is touching the ball. So he just has to play away. He wants to get the white ball tight against the top cushion here. So his angle is very important. He also wants to loosen the black at the same time. So it's a bit of a tip-tap game, this. To ensure the players don't make any opportunity for the opponent to get in, and try and tuck the white ball here behind one of the balls. And I think he's going to leave this red open to the center, which he has.
Yeah, that is a big unforced error by Ashraf. There's no reason for him to play the shot in that way that he did. And an opportunity here for Fakhri again as he misses the cluster of reds. And he is on a whole heap of options in terms of colors. But no reds to follow up after that. So are we going to see a containing shot? I think probably we are.
I think probably he'll be opting to go for the brown, and then loosening the pack slightly, getting a couple of reds into play, and then sending the cue ball into a safety. You can go for the blue and score the points, but the right shot to play is to play for the brown, and then loosen some reds out of the pack, and play the white to safety, allowing your opponent to try and set you up again. And 'cause I don't think he has much of an angle on this brown. Oh, he's clipping the yellow to try and tuck in behind the brown. What a shot this would be, and he pulled it off. Wow, all hats open there for Fakhri.
Very high level of snooker thinking there by Fakhri, and looks to escape from this quite easily is Ashraf, but he's left the red onto the middle.
It's always the danger with the pace. So they'll try and hold you for the black ball. Played that very well. He wants to keep an angle on the black. It's come out a little bit. He's got an angle, so he's going to try and get this red that's just to the right of the black spot. He wants to come out enough, though. And he has. He's played that well. And at this stage, he wants to leave, pretty much just play a nice stop shot here. Keep the cue ball where it is. Maybe draw it back just an inch, if anything, and maintain a... There we go. And try and just clip the side of the red of the pack over here. So the key to going to the pack is not to go into the middle of the pack, but to clip the side of the red, and then playing hard enough just to loosen a few. Misses the pack, he overcuts the black. Wasn't happy with that.
No, absolutely, and as you explained that, Wayne, it's so important for the viewers to, as you start enjoying this game of snooker, is to, again, as I said a little bit earlier, try and think the way these players are thinking. If you didn't know what Fakhri was trying to do there, one would maybe think, oh, he kind of messed up position on the black. He could have made it a lot easier for himself, which is true. He could have left the cue ball in a much better position to get onto that black, and the black would have just been an easy shot, but nothing to do from there on. He left that angle on purpose so that he can run the cue ball into the cluster of reds and continue on his break.
A lovely safety shot played here. It's quite difficult to play the cushion red and have the white go up, because you've got the whole cluster of reds blocking the path of the white to go up. So he might play a containing shot here, and it's not easy. At this distance, white ball being close to the cushion, he wants to slice the side of the ball here, and doesn't want to hit it thick, and unfortunately he's caught the other red, and that's what made it so difficult.
Unable to avoid the traffic. I think the red to the left middle is open.
he might have to swerve this. Is it open or straight? It looks like it's open. Maybe he just sees the side of it. Can you see it? No, I couldn't see it. Yeah, he had to play safety.
Always the trouble with our position watching the table is you can't see all of the angles all of the time. So sometimes you can't see exactly what the players are seeing.
Where's the cue ball going?
Looks to be safe still. But I must say, Wayne, from the time that you've spent here, what an incredible venue. Our hosts over at Centurion Mall. Nothing better than being able to watch a game of snooker, and then if you're feeling a bit squeamish, you can go grab something to eat, and nice and relaxing environment. And if your shoes get uncomfortable, just go buy some shoes as that cue ball drops.
Absolutely. I think the hubbies would like to enjoy a good game of snooker here at the food court here at Centurion Mall while the wife takes the credit card.
Absolutely, and I'm not too well aware of the load shedding schedule that we've got in Centurion at the moment. And if there's anything happening, you might know a bit better, you from the area. But if there's any load shedding and you're in the area, swing past and you won't be affected. By the time you get home, power's back on and you've watched some snooker.
That's right. So Ashraf has a really good opportunity here to try and put some points on the board. He is trailing 41 points to 6, and but he wants to take advantage of this, taking this red closest to the pink spot and maintaining position for the blue. He's trying to get as much points as possible, and he wants to get on the right side of the blue. He's heading a bit straight on the blue, and he wanted to have at least got an inch further to off for the red that's closest to the right middle. So he's a bit frustrated in it, but he's probably going to have to just draw the cue ball back or run forward for one of the either opposing reds. Get this drawing back with power screw, and he does it very well. A power stroke, and that's obviously accredited to the hay ball that he plays, where you need a lot of power to play with the bigger type balls, and Ashraf does it really well.
He's overcut it at the furthest draw, stays out, and letting Fakhri off the hook.
And he knows that's going to cost him.
Absolutely, red now out in the open, and choices are plenty for Fakhri. He'll take the blue to the middle.
Yeah, and I think he might just want to run the cue ball to the bottom black, close to the black, and just run it slowly. And he doesn't want to end up straight on this. He just wants a slight angle, and he's got that. And trying to get the black back onto the spot afterwards.
Coming off the rail just ever so slightly on position for the black.
He's keeping his eye on the score. Just wants to make sure that he gets enough points to clinch the frame. 43 points left on the table.
And we see another great distance shot.
Ooh, that
very
was
close, very close by Fakhri.
So if he takes this red that's closest to the cushion and draws back for the blue, he pretty much has the frame in hand. But this is going to be the one shot. This is game shot if he gets this. Unfortunately, this doesn't take it. He would have been plumb on the black. Fakhri seeing if the red does pass by. He's going to send the cue ball up to have safety shot in case he doesn't drop it. He misses it, and the cue ball does go up. Tries to get the cue ball as close as possible to the top cushion, and does get into bulk though. And Ashraf will be eyeing out the position of where the brown ball is. He would like to get the white ball behind the brown at all, if any, tape, but he just underplays it slightly and sets Fakhri up to this little pocket again.
Yeah, caught too much of that red, slowing down the cue ball. Couldn't get it back into safety. And just using the rails, going around 3 cushions, perfectly onto the black, as you can see there, the gentleman in the blue. That is Ryan George. He also took part in this event.
And Fakhri leaving Ashraf requiring snookers.
Again, very close, gets away. Red just peeking out slightly. Almost thought he was going to leave the red behind the black.
He's going to try and pull it, but he's over-pulled it, and where's it? It's going to go, it's going to go. Oh, it's close. Might get a consolation prize here.
I think Fakhri can definitely see the red from here, and it is cuttable. And Ashraf sitting in his chair, and he's trying to figure out what more can he do to slow Fakhri down and get back into this match. If Fakhri is able to succeed, which it looks in all likelihood like he would, in winning this frame, Fakhri only needs one more frame, and his opponent Ashraf needs a total of 5.
I think he's going to be set up here to take the red to the yellow pockets, and this should seal the 4th frame for Fakhri. I think Ashraf knows that. He's going to be playing the shot a lot of top, going for the black. Does hope to overplay this, and he knows he's got the frame in hand here, and we might see some exhibition shots here.
He'll definitely try and entertain us.
Lovely pot.
Nicely played on the black, straight onto the yellow. Black will come out again, and now all of the colors will stay down as all of the reds have gone down. So yellow now needs to play for the green. After that, the brown, blue, then the pink, and lastly the black.
And he uses the pink beautifully to get the brown, and he's going to nudge the brown closer. He misses it, and the pink's going to come off the cushion. Leave it. Nah, he's going to try and go for here's a trick shot. Middle pockets was looking good, not a bad try. And 4
Good
frames
effort.
to 0.
Good effort there by Fakhri. Ashraf is now left with everything to do, and Fakhri just needs to wait for an opportunity to open up, and he can clinch this final.
So looking back at some of the action replay, this was an unfortunate kiss here, dropping the cue ball in the right green pocket. And some really good snooker we're watching here. Fakhri really set his eyes on this prize. He's been in this position several times, very comfortable in the finals. And it seems like a one-way match at this stage.
Don't know what the spectator is reacting to, but very entertaining nonetheless. Very entertaining. Great camera work. We're getting here the previous event as well. We saw a couple of fumbles from the referees as they were trying to get the balls back in position, and it's just so great to be able to watch these things taking place in your own backyard. And knowing that the locals are entertained and everyone at home is enjoying the action.
Frame 5, it's a break. And Ashraf breaks off. Fakhri leads 4 frames to none.
Very good break off by Ashraf as he leaves Fakhri very close to that top rail with a lot to do, and it looks like there's a chance here that he has left Ashraf with a red to the middle. If he does make this red, he'll be on the black. Oh, so close. Hits the jaws, it stays out. No harm done. As I say that, Fakhri plays a beautiful red off the rail. Cuts it very fine, very tough on these tables. Beautiful shot by Fakhri. First blood drawn by him in this final.
Yeah, he's very comfortable. And I think at this stage, Fakhri will be thinking of really wanting to put on a high break. He'd really be looking at stamping his authority in this match and this tournament. 1 frame away, holding up the trophy. He's got a lovely angle here and a good opportunity to go into the bunch. If he can just clip this red on the side, a bit of bottom, he might open up a few reds. And he does, misses the black though. Had a great opportunity over there, had a nice split in the bunch.
Yeah, very nice splits. Let's see what he has left Ashraf with.
And here we can see one of our spectators enjoying, saying, hey, this is what I've come down here to do. seeing snooker showcase at its best.
Some friendly faces out there, most definitely. As we see Ashraf to the middle pocket, red goes down. He's left himself with an option on the blue.
That's him explaining, this is how you play the game.
Yeah.
Yes,
This is what he's doing wrong, and this is what I would have done. What a shot by Ashraf. Blue to the middle, and he's left himself again with options to the middle pocket. But he needs to figure out exactly what he wants to do in terms of position for his next color, as the blue goes onto the black spot. The pink is on the blue spot, so probably try and opt to play for the pink. Can he get out of bulk successfully? No, it runs into the yellow.
Players enjoying themselves here at the Centurion Mall. And he taking down a really impressive pink there. Something that can happen quite often in events like this, especially when a player is trailing like 4 frames to 0, race to 5, such as the case, is that the trailing player like Ashraf over here would almost succumb to the fact that he possibly might be losing in this final, and then all pressure comes off, and then we begin to see a player playing like they're playing a social game, and all of a sudden they start performing like something out of this world. And it's happened on many occasions, then swinging the pressure back onto the leading player. It's happened on many times, and this is something that Ashraf would want to do, is just to let go and to say, you know what, I'm here to enjoy myself. And if he's able to pinch 1 frame, he will slowly start reverting the pressure back to Fakhri. And if he's able to come back and win 4 in a row, I would probably then favor Ashraf to actually win the final frame.
Absolutely. The key word that I agree with, as you used it there, Wayne, is the enjoyment factor. You see quite often that players get tense and too serious because they're playing for big money. It's a big scene. They're live on TV. It's just letting those nerves go and just start enjoying yourself like you would when you're playing with friends, and then all of a sudden things start clicking and flowing naturally as well. That's the big thing.
I'm seeing Ashraf doing that right now. I see his composure is a lot more relaxed. He's knocking the balls. He's feathering a slow down a little bit. He's shortening his feathering a little bit, and it just shows me that he's willing to go for it irrespective of the results, and probably that's what he needed a lot more early on in the match. So he looks like a player that is able to really pot comfortably, and if that be the case, we're beginning to see that right now. This might be a turn. If there's ever a turning point in this match, it has to happen by pinching this frame. But he just needs to keep level-headed, make sure of the shots, and he'll be 1 shot and 1 visit and 1 frame closer.
Another question to you, Wayne, and sorry, but you're doing this to yourself. You're referring to feathering there, and it is my duly appointed mission to inform as many people as possible. Look at that green. About the rules of snooker and the little concepts and interesting concepts of the sport, of cue sport as a whole. Feathering?
Yeah, feathering is a term that we use if you see how they're busy pushing the cue ball, pushing the cue forwards and backwards before hitting the white ball, and that's known as feathering. And that the purpose of feathering is almost like a visual aid. One practices mentally to hit the ball and getting ready for the final stroke. And if you look at the pro players, they would feather a few times, and many times they would have the same rhythm to the feathering, where they will have like a zip, 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 and then strike the ball, and then when they get ready to strike, there's this pause that takes place with the final stroke that happens. And you can see when he's busy feathering, he's feathering quite quick and not taking his time, so he's sped up play quite a bit. His play is sped up quite a bit. We can see Basil and shots over there, and you can see he's a lot more comfortable. There's Basil. He's also the chairman of Gauteng Blackball Pool. Next to him, Grita, and some of our spectators are watching this great event being showcased here at the Centurion Mall. And I can see Ashraf is really a lot more comfortable now. He's extended the lead over here by 7 points, and if he's able to maintain this, there is a possibility he can swing the pressure across back to Fakhri. He's a lot more relaxed in his body language, and here we see one of the great players, Mutalib Ali, and Ishan Singh. Mutali watching closely, fortunately losing out against Ricky Tagoning in the semi-finals, and he has been in the finals. In fact, Mutali was in the first event finals against Charles Yonk, the inaugural event that happened some time back. I don't know, I was emceeing the event at the time. Did some trick shots for the players in Durban, and Fakhri making sure that he closes the gap of the points.
Looks like they are catching up on the lotto numbers from last night. On to the blue is Fakhri. Misses it.
Ooh.
And leaving Ashraf with a sitter, the red just below the pink. Opening up the pink spot as well, which Ashraf will be happy about. He is still in the lead in this frame, 22 to 19. Difference of 3 points.
As you can see, he's a lot more composed, a lot more relaxed. The pressure's off of him. He's playing with a lot more confidence. He's striking the ball hard. He's striking it nice.
Yeah. Making the black. Didn't have to do too much to get onto the next red, but most importantly, had to make the black. Misses it. Fakhri back at the table, and with a lead of only 4.
And there's a lot of opportunity here now to put on some points on the board.
This is going to take a good shot, this red to the bottom right, but Fakhri definitely has the shot in amongst his skill set. Very close, rattles and stays out, and it looks like he's going to leave it on for Ashraf. Not an easy cut shot though.
My Day Brands, one of the choice sponsors of this event.
Yeah, the official refreshment sponsor of all of the Pro Snooker events. A big thank you to them and their involvement in Q Sports all over South Africa, assisting the development. So a big thank you to them and being a part of the Pro Snooker events. It's Mr. Dime Ridley and his team. We really appreciate their involvement, and there's a lot that they are doing for Q Sports. And you can see there the Pride logo of Andy Billiard cloth, the cloth that these guys are playing on. And on that note, it's also the same cloth that they used at the World Games that was played a little bit earlier this year.
That's right, and a lovely cloth. I played on day before yesterday, before the tournament was underway, and I really enjoyed the pace of the cloth. Made it really effortless for spin and for position around the table. Fakhri having a good opportunity here. I think it's so emotional. You can see people are brought to tears with the talent that's being showcased here.
Onto the red, which is important for Fakhri as he plays it to the middle pocket, successfully so.
He's got a good opportunity here to win this tournament with this visit.
Absolutely, just a few more balls to go as the yellow comes back out again.
And what a joyous moment this will be for Fakhri. He's been waiting for this for a long time. Played that well, held himself nicely there on the brown. Got a nice little angle over there. He wants to make sure that he clinches this. Compose himself, step into the shot and make sure of it. I think he might draw the cue ball right at the bottom and come past the black ball, which he has. And he's really played this well. He's going to have the blue to the middle. All he needs is the blue. He takes the blue and now he knows the title is secured. He will have his name edged in history with the greats. Drops the pink and secures the frame. He's extremely happy with his performance, stretching out and hoping for the black to drop. Gives a big shout out there to his opponents, and Fakhri wins convincingly 2022 How Cup Pro Snooker event with a score of 5 frames to 0 as the 2022 champion. Over to our MC, Mr. Gainer, and commentator.
Saw some upsets. Number 1 Charles Jonk undefeated, getting knocked out by his friend and teammate Kevin Shelfer. That we have to acknowledge as well. We saw some incredible close encounters where at one point, Ashraf, I thought you were done and dusted in your semi-final match. I was preparing the final with Ricky playing Fakhri, and the next minute you made it through. So everything to see in this How Cup, it was absolutely exceptional. Fakhri, if I can please pull you away from your fans for a moment. I'll pass you the mics as well, because you've got a good 5 minutes to explain to us, how does it feel to win this Pro Snooker event finally?
Yeah, finally. It feels good. I think I've 5 or 6 finals in a row. So, yeah, it feels great. You know, commiserations to Ashraf. I mean, he had a really, really good road to the final, and congrats to him for reaching this far. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think maybe Ashraf was really performing like he should. He left me a lot of chances. I tried to capitalize, and yeah, so it is what it is. But yeah, very happy to finally take a pro snooker title, and yeah, let's see what happens after this.
Absolutely, and fortunately now for this event you didn't travel as far. Normally we would find ourselves over in KZN at the Q-Master Snooker Centre, but now we find ourselves at Centurion Mall. In the mall, look at the people behind us, all supporting us. You as the champion, how does it feel to know that you've got the support here, live people, and the venue itself? It's incredible.
Yeah, it feels great. I mean, it's a different atmosphere completely, playing in a normal closed venue. So it's really quite nice. I just want to say thank you for everyone that came all the way to support us, especially my big supporters, Pashalini and Zaid. They've been always, I mean, they really seen me every time runner up. So finally they're here and I take the Pro Snooker title.
All right, we'll get back to you in a moment, Fakhri, as we start handing out the prizes and so forth. Ashraf, if I can just maybe call you over for one more question, if you don't mind. Obviously, you have a long history within Q Sports as a whole. As a player, like I said, you travelled here. It has to be worth it at some point, and the prize fund that you guys are playing for, made possible by the sponsors. For you as a player that really enjoys your sport, you play hayball, you play 9-ball, you play 10-ball, you play snooker. As a player, what do these sponsors, how, at My Day Brands, as well as Andy Billiard Cloth, what does this mean to you as a player?
As a player, it's great that we've got these sponsors on board. We know Q Sport needs it, and it helps us put our craft out there for everyone else to see, especially being televised. And I mean, thanks to our tips, Andy Billiards Cloth, and of course Diamudi at My Day Brands, and of course Pro Snooker for putting on the showcase for us 5 times a year. I mean, we're off to Gold Reef City after this, so it'll be great to see all these guys there again.
Yeah, absolutely. As Ashraf said there, we might mention it even now. In November, we're going to Gold Reef City. This was a 16-player draw. In Gold Reef City, we'll have 32 players. It was a 2-day event. That one is a 5-day event. So everyone looking forward to that. We'll make the announcements of all of the details on that soon. And we're definitely looking forward to that. Can't wait to go to Gold Reef City. To carry on with some of the proceedings, I would like to call over our dignitary. He's also our head referee for this event, Mr. Andre de Toy. If you can please join me in the front. Thank you so much, Andre. I'd also just like to say Mr. Andre de Toy is a Gold Star certified referee with the IBSF, and he's definitely deserved to be here. He's been involved with the referees since 1992, so he has done a lot for the sport. And Mr. de Toy, if I can maybe ask you to come and stand on my right-hand side, we'll start calling over some of the players as we start off with the last 16. All of the participants taking place in these events have actually earned their prize fund, so it's definitely worth for the players to be here. And it's again all thanks to our sponsors, the main sponsor for this event, HAO, joining us all the way from China. They manufacture tips and cues for a variety of disciplines within Q Sport, and they've played a big part in this event, being the main sponsors. And along with that, the beautiful cloth that they played on is from Andy Billiards, and our third sponsor is My Day Brands. They're the official drink sponsor for this event. So a big thank you to our sponsors. They've made all of these prizes possible for our players. So I'm going to start over. I'm going to pass the envelope on to you, Mr. de Toy. Just the shake of the hand and the player can make their way back. In the last 16, we have Michael Davids. Michael joining us for the first time in the Pro Snooker events, and I must say he was very impressive, made some incredible shots. Michael, what you came for, thank you so much. Thank you to Michael. And our next top 16 finisher is Ryan George. Congratulations to you, Ryan. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll definitely be seeing more of Ryan as well. And the next top 16 finisher is Sullivan Moodley. Right, we'll move on from Sullivan. Next up, we've got Adil Ahmed. Again, another debutant joining us. I've seen Adil here. Also, very impressive performance by him on his debut. Just unlucky not to see it through. Thank you so much, Adil. It was great having you here. And next up, we have Mohammed Suleiman. Mohammed also joining us for the first time at a Pro Snooker event. Thank you so much for joining us, Mohammed. Really had a great time with you. And Mr. Darren Eyre. We have a lot of great personalities of the players joining us for these Pro Snooker events. Darren, great meeting you for the first time. Definitely hope to see you soon. All right, so as we move over to Charles Young. Charles finishing in the last 16. So we move over to quarterfinals. And Jaden Neuben. Jaden will probably join us shortly. We'll move over to the next quarterfinalist. Definitely saw him. I can see him there in the distance. Muttalib Ali. Muttalib just losing out against Ricky Tregoning in a very close match, but it's very entertaining. Always good having you with us, Muttalib. Thank you so much. All right, and then we've got the coach, Mr. Personality, and also my fellow commentator. At times, Mr. Rafiq Lambada, he's a bit under the weather, but still made his way back to the venue to come and fetch his prize money. Thank you so much, Rafiq. All right, and probably the man of the tournament with the biggest upset is Mr. Kevin Shelfer. All right, and now semi-finalist, the second biggest upset, and great always character that we see around the Pro Snooker events. I can see him there with the blue waistcoats, Mr. Ricky Tregoning. Very well played there too, Ricky, making the first time in a semi-final, second time in a semi-final. Well done, Ricky. Great having you. Great tournament. Well played. All right, I think. All right, so the other semi-finalist, Mr. Kiashan Moodley. Big congratulations to Kiashan. He's also always featured in the Pro Snooker events. And your daddy said that you can keep that. All right, so I've got 3 prizes left, and I think the one I'll do first is the prize for the highest break. And we'll make him walk a little bit. Mr. Fakhri Fireball Khirdin scored a break of 62, the highest break of the tournament. Congratulations, Fakhri. Congratulations and well played on that break as well, but don't go too far. Then next up, the Vulture, the podcast himself, Mr. Ashraf, the Vulture Haribai, finishing in second place. All right, as I have the match officials that supported us throughout this event join us to either side. A big thank you to you guys as well for the dedication that you've shown throughout this weekend. It really does mean a lot to the players and all of the viewers at home, knowing that it is a lot of professionalism involved. So a big thank you to all of you as well. And now as we get to the all-important part, as we announce the winner. All right, with everyone in position, we would like to congratulate for the first time and definitely not the last time, the champion of the Hau Cup, Mr. Fireball Fakhri Khirdin. Once again, a big congratulations to you, Fakhri. You absolutely deserved it. Well played, 5-0 in that final. You've got the family here with you. I know that there's something that you'd like to say to them as well.
No, I would just like to say thank you to them for supporting me, and actually all our friends from CGSA, from Wanderers. Mutalib's looking for a mention as well, so let me mention him. But no, we've been sparring in the week, and really he's given me some really put on my tips. So yeah, and we had some good sessions, and I think in preparation for the tournament, so that assisted quite a bit towards a little bit of better play on the weekend. So yeah, thank you to everyone, our sponsors, Q Masters, How, and Pro Snooker team for setting up a wonderful event. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. And before we draw the whole proceeding to a close, I just also want to say a big thank you again to our main sponsor, How, for being involved. We hope we can grow this partnership along with you, as well as the guys from Andy Billiard Cloth. I've received numerous compliments from the players. It's just incredible to play on, the consistency and the reaction that they're getting on the cue ball. This Andy Billiard Cloth is here to stay, so a big thank you to Andy for being a part of this. How, and then we can't ever go past the big events, Q Sport event in South Africa, without mentioning My Day Brands and Di Moodley. So a big thank you to you all, and I hope you enjoyed this final. This was the How Cup for 2022. Our host Centurion Mall did a great job, and they will definitely bring the family back here for some lunch a little bit, or dinner a little bit later on. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you so much. Please be safe, and we'll see you for the next Pro Snooker event soon. Thank you.
I found that photo in the sofa, and it's from way back in '01. So I guess there's much I never told you, like who I am, who I love, where I've been and where I came from. Grew up on 913 of Blue Rock, memories of 6 kids running around those halls. Then out in the California sunshine, we wore no shoes through alley-oops and shattered windows, throwing baseballs. mom packed me a brown bag every day. From 5 years old up to 18. A note that said I love you, XO. And all my friends, they're big.
Too many days in the darkness, without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down on
I'm stuck down in Black Lives